The man them too inconsiderate, 5-star hotel smoking cigarette, mixing codeine up with a Finnegan. She got thick but she wanna get thin again, drinking apple cider vinegar, wearing skim cause she wanna be Kim in them.
Alright guys, I haven't done one of these in a long time. I think this is kind of like a day in the life. I've got something that I really want to share with you guys, and it's around changes. And honestly, since the last time I made one of these videos, my life has changed in so many ways it's just frankly unfathomable. And so I want to take you with me for a day in the life, and I'm going to explain all of the crazy changes that have unfolded both for me personally, but also hopefully remind you that no matter how old you are, where you're at in life, what you're going through, change is always possible. And that is one of the most beautiful things about being a human, is you can change, you can become anything. So I gotta hop on this meeting. I want you just to come say hi to the team real quick. If you don't know, I run 3 different companies, which is kind of insane. This is for a software company I started a couple years ago. It's called Land Insights. What I'll probably do here is break all of the business stuff down on a whiteboard later today, because there's a lot to talk about. This is with our Land Insights team. So we've got our COO, we've got our CTO, and then we've got a guy named Nick, who's kind of the glue that holds everything together. He's like our project manager. You gotta say hi. Dude. You guys are on camera for our first full day in the life. So this is Kyle, this is Nick, this is Rylan. I was just giving them a little context on this meeting. Don't say anything incriminating. Okay, first I need to erase all of this. This is Land Investing 101. This is a whole different video. I'll put my land investing channel down below. If you're curious what the heck is land investing, well, it's the business that changed my life, but that's not what we're talking about here today. So what we're gonna talk about here is 2 things. One, we're gonna talk about change. And I've got a lot to say about change. I've gone through a lot of personal change recently, and I just have a lot of feelings about change. You probably do. Change is such a vague subject, it is, but I promise you're gonna wanna hear what I have to say about change, okay? But before we do that, we need to answer why. And what do I mean by why? I mean, why am I making these videos? Well, honestly, I don't really know. I know a couple things. When I was 12 years old, I loved making videos. And oftentimes the things that you love as a kid, you probably still love them today. And I've kind of put like creating videos and trying to make things that are interesting on the back burner. It's just been business, business, business. So the why is I want to create things, man. And I hope that through documenting, I can tell a story, and that's the goal. Every video is going to tell a story. And today we're talking about the story of change and why this is one of the central themes of living a fulfilled life, in my opinion. It is your God-given right to go through change and to create change proactively in your life, which we'll talk about here today. The other reason is that I want to document for myself and maybe for my family one day, for my kids, I don't know. If you don't know what I'm doing and who I am, so in 2019, I started a business called TLP, and TLP is a business that buys and sells land all across America. That was in 2019. This is the land investing model. It's the model that changed my life, okay? This model is what I have taught to 650 plus people since 2022, okay? So 2022, I launched a company called Leah, and we teach people this exact business model that I created inside of TLP. We call it the Land Investing Accelerated Model. And I still run these businesses today. These businesses are still active. In fact, these businesses are growing, right? Our land business this year will do well over 7 figures in our land investing business. And with Leah, we just launched a really cool new like subscription community for people to learn land investing. So we launched that 3 weeks ago. We've got 129 people that have joined it in the last 3 weeks, and it's just really simple. It's like $300 a month, and you can join. It's a subscription, and you can learn our exact land investing model with coaching and all that jazz. But here's the real thing, okay? In 2023, I launched my first software company. This is called Land Insights, okay? This company here, I mean, these are all special, and this is what we call a flywheel, okay? They all flow into each other, right? I run the land investing business, which gives me credibility to teach inside of Leah and makes me a good teacher. And the people that join Leah use Land Insights, right? Then Land Insights helps me become a better land investor because I build tools that serve me. And then Land Insights, or Leah rather, brings in Whoops. Leah brings in deal flow into our own business. So this is all a big flywheel. This sounds confusing. Like how do you run 3 different businesses? Well, they're all deeply interlinked. But this company right here is Land Insights, okay? This is my enterprise value play. We're gonna call this EV. And EV is how much this company's actually worth. I'm building a sellable asset. Leah, no one's gonna buy an education business. This is cash flow. TLP, no one's gonna buy a land investing business. That's cash flow. This is enterprise value. And my goal over the next 3 years is to grow Land Insights a $100 million valuation. That means the business is worth $100 million. Now, from there, either sell it or keep it or who knows. And I want to document that journey because one day I'm going to look back and say, shucks, those were the good old days, man. That was so fun when I was in the trenches, grinding, growing, doing things. And I want to document the journey for myself and maybe for my kids or something like that. I don't know. So that's what we're documenting. That's the why behind making these videos. Now, the goal of these videos is to document just a regular day in the life, but through that, tell a story. And the story today is change. Now, I'm going to say some things that are maybe controversial. These are just my opinions. They're not facts. But I believe that every single human being, and I'm going to draw you like this, okay? And this might really upset some people. This is you, this is me, this is all of us. I believe every single human being has a little bit of God in them. I'm not saying you are God. I'm just saying you have the essence of God in you. And the God that I imagine, this isn't a religious God, okay? This is just God. Fill in the blank, whatever religion, doesn't matter. My belief is, this is my belief, I can't stress enough, this is my belief, is that what God does is he's a creator. God has created everything around us. Now again, I'm not saying this in a religious sense. I just believe that God was a creator. I don't think that it's an accident that we live in this ever-expanding universe on this beautiful planet with abundance and amazing creatures and animals and biodiversity and flora and fauna. Like, science doesn't explain that. To me, I feel in my heart that there absolutely is a God. And I think that we have just a little smidge of that in us. We have a little bit of that creator in us, right? And I almost sometimes think that perhaps the goal of life is to start so ignorant that you thought you couldn't create anything to wake up and have the realization that you can create anything. I almost feel like sometimes that's the point of life. Because, you know, when we're young, and for some people forever, they think that they can create no change. I'm a victim of my circumstances, and life is how life is, and that's it. But that's not true. You have an imagination, which is a God-given trait. Like, we all have an imagination, and imagination is the birthplace for anything that you desire in the world. Whatever you want to create, it starts here. And this loops back to change, right? Because to create anything and to exercise that little God-given spark in us, to turn an idea into something real, I mean, real with in quotes, real in the physical sense, is, I would argue, one of the coolest things that we can experience. It's much like having a child. What an incredible way to connect to the divine, to grow a child in you and to bring a child into the world. Whoa, that's insane. But it's the same thing with anything in your imagination. And all of these things, yeah, cool, they make money, blah, 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 blah. But this is just an exercise in imagination. Building $100 million business is just an exercise in my imagination. All of this just started as an idea, right? And I just had belief to follow those ideas. What a cool experience to take nothing and turn it into something. But to do that, we have to go through a shit ton of change. Like, change is inevitable. But the crazy thing is that most humans avoid change. And by avoiding change, the grand irony is if you're not proactively creating change, change will happen to you, but it's not the kind of change you want. It'll happen not for you, it'll typically happen against you. And then people are just like holding on and gripping for dear life. Oh my God, this is so scary. But I think sometimes we also need to proactively create change in our life and flex that muscle of change. And the reason that this is relevant for me is about 1.5 years ago, I moved across the world to Bali, Indonesia. You know, it's a pretty big change, right? That really switch up your whole circumstances, move across the world. That's a lot of change, right? And this company here, Leah, I just completely changed the business model 3 weeks ago. Okay, we had our original coaching program that we put 500 plus people through. It was a high ticket, 5-figure coaching program, and I shut it down. And that's scary, right? Shut it down, I'm floating payroll, we're not allowing anyone else to join, coming out of my own pocket. So then I could build what's called Leah 2.0. And Leah 2.0 is just a simple monthly subscription, and I want to ultimately reach and impact more people. So by having it a high ticket program, I was capped in the amount of people that I could work with and help. And so I was like, you know what? turn that model off for now. I want to put everything that I have into a model that's, we're teaching the same framework, but just make it into a simple subscription that anyone can join. Because right now, what really fires me up, I mean, all of this is cool, but what really fires me up is doing a little bit of good in the world by sharing this crazy business model that I've learned of buying and selling land. Because this business model has completely changed my life. And that's scary, man, to shut down a business and to build a new business, but to still have your team members and still float payroll and have no idea if it's gonna work. That's scary. That's going out on a limb. And I was reminded in that process, though, the best moments of my life, man. The best moments of my life is when I proactively put one foot in front of me and take a step towards something, and I have no idea if it's gonna work. I mean, my girlfriend and I moved to Bali 1.5 years ago. We had no idea what it was going to be like. 2 weeks later, we bought a house. It was moving so fast, but those are some of the best times of my life, And I just encourage everyone here, become super familiar with change, fall in love with the process of change, and don't let change happen against you, right? Don't be a victim of your circumstance where you're avoiding change and then the world starts forcing change on you. Proactively go and create change yourself and flex that muscle and become the creator that you actually are. Now, I'm not talking about creator like a content creator. I mean, sure, you could be that. I'm just saying all of us have this incredible imagination. I mean, science can't explain, in my opinion, how phenomenal an imagination is. Every great invention, everything around us that's man-made started as something that was in someone's imagination. How crazy is that? To me, that's our link to something higher. And what an incredible experience to use your imagination to create things. And that's, I guess, my message today. Growing up, I saw a lot of the adults around me really avoiding change. Change was scary. We don't like change. I think that for most people, change is very uncomfortable. But if we can develop a friendly relationship with change and we can proactively do it ourselves, I think life becomes a lot more interesting. So that's what I gotta say. I'm gonna take a little bit of a work break. We actually have our new baby boy puppy over here. Hey, baby Bruce. So this is Bruce, the heir to the kingdom, my first son. So the funny thing is, we got these dogs actually in Jakarta, in Java. So it's a whole process getting them here to Bali. He had a 3-day trip. He had to go in a van, then on a boat, then in a van again. And he just got here last weekend. For me, dogs make your life 100 times better. This is my little girl. This is Gloria right here. The sweetest little girl ever who loves her butt scratched. Oh yeah, this is a beautiful girl. So anyways, we're gonna get a haircut here in a minute. That's been a recent epiphany for me. One, I've never been the most fashionable person. My girlfriend's helped me get a little more fashionable with better looking clothes. I used to just wear gym clothes every single day. So we're gonna go get a haircut. We're boxing later today. And right now I'm gonna pick up Bruce's poop because I see a lot of small poop sitting around. So let me pick these things up. Dude, speaking of dogs, I just got this book yesterday, so we had to take Bruce to the vet for the first time to get his shots. So a lot of people don't know about the Bali dogs. Bali dogs, it's literally their own breed. And a lot of people, if you know about Bali dogs, you've heard of the Kintamani dog, but there's actually a lot of different variants of the Bali dog. There's of course I'm forgetting the names of them. There's low, plain, southern Bali dog. I don't know, I can't remember all the names. But Bali dogs are incredibly unique. It's an ancient species of dog, and they're actually closely related to the dingo dog from Australia. And they think that all modern dogs stem back to one pack of wolves from Southeast Asia or East Asia. Before that, this was all an ocean because sea level was lower. This was all connected, this one big land mass. And so these Bali dogs a lot of them are just ancient DNA, and they're very freaking unique. They're very special dogs. And the thing about Bali dogs though, they say you don't choose a Bali dog, the Bali dog chooses you. But if you ever come to Bali, you'll experience the Bali dog experience, for lack of a better word, and they're so unique. So anyways, speaking of dogs, I'm gonna pick up some dog poop. When you love your dogs, a little dog poop doesn't hurt no one. It's kind of like an unspoken rule with Sarah and I. I pick up the dog poops, she takes them to their vet appointments. We've got a real mom-dad dynamic going on here. All right, Bruce, let's find all your little poops. Okay, we got 2 piles here. I won't show you the poops. I know it throws up at home. Got 3. We got 4 poops all this morning. It's incredible. 5. It's like treasure hunting. Imagine pooping 5 times in the morning. I think 5 poops, and I think Gloria pooped back here. 5 very stinky poops. Oh no, there's one more over here, and it's disgusting. This one is, you don't even want to look at this one. So we've been having this problem at our house. I love living in Bali. I really do. There's very few downsides, but there are very funny things. I paid for our trash. So I paid for it for 6 months in advance. That was like, I don't know, a month ago. Because they would not charge us and then they wouldn't pick it up. It was very confusing. So I paid 6 months in advance. But then the trash guy hasn't come in 10 days. So our trash is like overflowing. He's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna come on Saturday. So tomorrow. The thing about America, the trash comes on the same day at the same time. It's just guaranteed. Very funny little things like that. Anyways, I'm gonna go put these in the trash. So you can see this is 10 days worth of trash overflowing right here. Okay, so I've become a bit of a bike addict. As you can tell, my driveway's a little clustered. I actually have 2 other bikes that aren't here right now. I'm building like a chopper, then I've got like a little scooter for the dogs that I'm building. Anyways, this is my new addition, so that's what I'm gonna take today. I've always wanted a Harley, but not any Harley. I wanted like a bobber style bike, and so bobber style is very unique. It's, you know, you're trimming and taking off a lot of like the extra parts that you don't need, chopping the rear fender. It's a very kind of lean, rugged look, but you've got that crazy loud thump of a Harley. So this is a Sportster 1200. It's like the model 48 or whatever, the 2018, and then a bit of a bobber build. I was gonna do the bobber build myself, but then I just found this bike from a super cool Australian dude, and he already had it built out, and I was like, dude, that's literally perfect. He lives right up the road. So I just picked this up last week. So there's actually a custom kill switch under the bike right here to fully turn off the battery. This has got like the keyless start stuff, so the battery's really temperamental. So hopefully it starts. Let's see. We've been having a lot of battery problems. Let's get our haircut. I gotta text the shop to drop my bike off again now. Yeah, there's still an exhaust leak there.
They're gonna rip it off, taking their time right behind my back, and I'm talking to myself at night because I can't find.
I bought the bike 1 week ago. This is my 3rd time at the shop, man. And the funny thing is, every bike I own right now is at the shop. Choppers at the shop, dirt bikes at the shop. Actually, the only one, Cafe Racer, not at the shop, and my other scooter's at the shop. So I don't know if I got bad bike luck or what. So this place makes like crazy pimped out scooters. Like, look at that. All X-Maxes, which honestly, I don't know if you agree with me, but the worst drivers in Bali drive X-Maxes. I don't know if you agree. They're the worst drivers. They go too fast. They drive crazy. We're about to box here in 15 minutes. And before I box, I'm gonna do a little bit of breath work, which I guess I'll show you guys real quick. So really all you need is a pillow. Ideally your phone, but you don't have to have your phone. But I like to, I don't know, I like to create transitions between the different periods of my day. So I'm about to box. I find that like breath work is just kind of a nice way to like clean the slate and just kind of get into a fresh headspace, especially if you've been like working or anything like that. So we'll just do a little bit of breath work. I go on YouTube and there's this guy named Breathe with Sandy. Incredible. Best breath work on YouTube. It's free. He's got videos that are like 5 minutes long all the way up to ones that are hours long, and I've done all of them, but we'll just pick a short one here. So we'll do 7-minute breath work for energy. Sounds pretty good. And then I just like to lay on my back. Typically I'll lay on my back, I'll do the breath work, I'll go into a little meditation after, and yeah, here we go.
Welcome, all you beautiful breathing people, to beautiful. So find your way to a comfortable.
Clear the head, bring some good energy to you, a little bit of gratitude. And then it's time to go fight.
I'm living in that 21st century, doing something mean to it. Do it better than anybody you ever seen do it. Screams from the haters, got a nice ring to it. I guess every superhero need his theme music. No one man should have all that.
How you feel?
Good, man. Good workout, hard workout, good power. Don't want to get hit in the face, that's for sure.
All right.
Ring your bell, but definitely stronger than whatever his name was. Okay. Last guy.
All right, guys, I think that's the end of the video. If you enjoyed this first, I don't even know what you call it, day in the life kind of thing, give it a thumbs up, maybe subscribe if you want to. It'll tell us that we should make more videos like this. And if you guys have questions about anything I talked about, I answer and I do respond to all of them, so you can put a question down below. Till then, I'll see you guys in the next video. Cheers.